death.
Yo, what's good, peeps? As we draw closer to the release of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, I thought it was a good time to take a look at the different versions of the game that will be available. This is definitely one of, if not the biggest game of 2024, so let's find out what edition of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth you should consider picking up.
You coming?
Way ahead of ya! We have to help them.
When is it out and what is it on? Well, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is only on PlayStation 5. It is the biggest exclusive game on any platform this year, and I can honestly see it being a real system seller. It is scheduled for release come the 29th of February 2024, so just over a month away. Are there any pre-order bonuses? Yes. If you do decide to pre-order a digital version of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, you will get the Moogle Trio Summoning Materia. Now, those who go for a physical version of the game will get the Midgar Bangle accessory. There is more if you have a save file from Final Fantasy VII Remake, Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, or Final Fantasy VII Remake Episode Intermission on your PlayStation 5. You can get Summon Materia, Leviathan, and the Summon Materia Ramuh. I also want to note that it is also worth shopping around, as UK retailer Game is offering an exclusive steelbook case for those that pre-order, and we have seen even smaller retailers offering a baseball cap, so definitely worth shopping around if you want to look at what other pre-order goodies you could get potentially from other stores. Moving into the editions, and first up we've got the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth Standard Edition. Now, the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth Standard Edition is the base version of the game and is listed at $69.99 or £69.99. Although for some of the physical versions online, you will potentially be able to shop around and get it a few dollars cheaper. This is available both digitally and physically, but as I said, it's certainly worth shopping around if you are considering picking this up physically, because as I mentioned, it definitely is varying in price. Next on the list is the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth Twin Pack. Now, I feel like we do have a bit of a strange one here. The Final Fantasy VII Twin Pack is a digital offering on the PlayStation Store, and it is priced at the same $69.99 or £69.99 that the standard version of the game is. With this, you get Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, but you also get Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, making this the perfect version to get if you do not have Intergrade. I feel like this is definitely the version to get anyway, as you are essentially getting Intergrade for free. So if you haven't got Intergrade before, this definitely makes the most sense. Next on the list is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth Digital Deluxe Edition Twin Pack. Now, priced at $89.99 or £84.99, the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth Digital Deluxe Edition Twin Pack is one hell of an epic deal. Like the standard Twin Pack, you get the Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, but you also get cool other stuff as well. Included in this package is a digital mini soundtrack, a digital art book, also the Magic Pot Summoning Materia, accessory which is the Reclaimant Choker, and a armor which is the Orchid Bracelet. Also in there is the Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade Episode Intermission DLC. So with this, you are basically getting the complete Final Fantasy VII experience, as it also includes the DLC episodes for Final Fantasy VII Remake. Next on the list is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth Digital Deluxe Edition. Now, priced at $89.99 and £84.99, the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth Digital Deluxe Edition gives you the base game and some other cool stuff too. Included with this edition of the game are the following items. So you get a digital mini soundtrack, a digital art book, the Magic Pot Summoning Materia, not forgetting also the accessory which is the Reclaimant Choker, and the armor Orchid Bracelet. Now, I guess for the asking price, you are getting some decent stuff here, but just like the previous deal, as I mentioned before, if you haven't got Intergrade, it probably makes sense going for the Twin Pack, because you are kind of getting it for the exact same price. Next up, we have the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth Deluxe Edition, which is physical only and listed at $99.99 or £99.99. However, it's worth quickly checking over on Amazon, as when I did previously look over there, you can save 10% on the UK website, bringing the price down to £89.63. In addition to getting the physical game with a cool reversible cover, you also get the following physical collectible items. So you get a steelbook case, a CD soundtrack in a jewel case, a hardback art book for $100 or £100, or as I mentioned, £89.63 if you are lucky to grab this over on Amazon. Getting a hardback art book and also a CD soundtrack that comes in an actual jewel case and not a paper one is a fantastic deal in my humble opinion. Last and certainly not least is the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth Collector's Edition. Now, I guess Square Enix is second to none when it comes to over-the-top collector's edition, and the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth Collector's Edition may be priced at a rather hefty $349.99 or £349.99. However, this collector's edition definitely looks amazing because this collection comes with the most epic, insanely looking Sephiroth statue by Static Arts, which stands at a phenomenal 19 inches. It also comes with the following physical and digital items. So from a physical perspective, you get a steelbook case, a CD soundtrack in a jewel case, a hardback art book, and as I mentioned, you get the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth Static Arcs Sephiroth statue, which is 19 inch. In terms of the digital items, you get the Magic Pot Summoning Materia, and you also get the accessory, which is the Reclaimant Joker, and not forgetting the armor also in there as the Orchid Bracelet. Not gonna lie, that Sephiroth statue is truly an amazing collector's item and the kind of thing that would be the centerpiece of any Final Fantasy collection. It is worth noting that the only way to get this officially is through the Square Enix online store, so definitely it's still in stock over on the UK store, so if you do want to pick this up, that's probably the best place to head over to before it will potentially sell out at some point. $1,000,000 question, which edition of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth should I buy? Well, with so many different editions of the game, it can kind of be a little bit hard to know where to start. If you just want the base version of the game, I personally would recommend shopping around to see if you can score a free t-shirt, hat or poster, as different retailers do have different little pre-order items here or there. If you are going down the digital route, in my humble opinion, it makes more sense to get the twin pack, even if you already have Intergrade, than actually picking up just the Rebirth on its own, as they are the same price. So it definitely makes sense considering which one of the twin packs you may look at picking up if you don't own either the Intergrade or some of the other games digitally. Now, if you are a massive Final Fantasy fan and can afford that collector's edition, I personally say more power to you and enjoy it, as it does look awesome. Now, I'll hold my hands up and be totally honest and say that someone like myself couldn't really justify getting a collector's edition and spending an extra £250 over the deluxe edition in order to get the collector's edition. So I personally feel like, in my humble opinion, the deluxe edition is pretty amazing, as it does come with the art book, the soundtrack, and all of those great collectibles in their own right. So I feel like if you want to pay the extra £250 and get the collector's edition, I won't say that it's not worth it, because I know that this will definitely hold its value. But at the same time, in terms of my personal recommendation, I feel like the deluxe edition is probably the best value for money in my humble opinion. What edition am I personally going to go for? Well, as I just mentioned, I'm not the biggest Final Fantasy fan, so I probably will just be sticking with the standard edition for this game, because this is definitely a game that I do want to experience, but at the same time, I'm not super deep into the whole Final Fantasy world, so the standard edition will be more than enough for a gamer like myself. Anyway, peeps, do let me know your thoughts in the comments below as to what edition stands out to you the most. I would really want to hear if you actually have pre-ordered or looking to get the collector's edition, because as I said, I do feel like £250 more is a crazy ask, but at the same time, I do know that Final Fantasy have such a core following, and I'm sure there's loads of people that are definitely going to be adding that to their massive Final Fantasy collection. Anyway, peeps, there you have it, my opinion as to what edition I feel is probably the most value for money. And as I mentioned, I do feel like the deluxe edition is probably the way to go, even though I'm personally going for the standard edition. Definitely in terms of the value, I feel like it certainly does hold its own way. As always, if you did enjoy this very quick urban gameplay video, be sure to hit the like button. Do hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so before. And until next video, we definitely say peace out, peeps.
Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button for more cool urban gameplay videos.